All right, everybody. My name is Brian Cummings, and I'm the Chief Marketing Officer here at Prime My Body. Welcome to tonight's Prime My Body overview. You're in for a really special treat. There's a lot of epic guests on tonight. Everybody from our Chief Medical Advisor, Dr. Cheng Ruan, who's going to be coming in the tail end of tonight's talk to really hammer home what makes Focus and Calm such a special product and why it's touching so many lives all around the world. You're also going to get a chance to hear from our lead marketer, John Taylor, and also Black Diamond affiliate and co-founder Austin Tice, as they dive into what our products are, how they can work for not just you, but your friends, your family, and also the opportunity of what it means to share these amazing products and share them all around the world. So without further ado, I'd like to bring Austin Tice to the table. He's going to walk you through the opening of the presentation and really give you an idea of what Prime My Body is and what makes this brand so special. So Austin, take it away, man.
Thanks, Brian. Nice to have you on, man. And this beautiful presentation you're seeing, that gentleman made it. It's a big strength of our brand. You know, we don't just look good, but meaning the brand, but you're going to hear it from a lot of good-looking people too. But we really focus on quality all the way around. Tonight's call, you're going to hear a lot about what I believe is going to be centered around a central topic or theme, and that's the word immunity. You know, so much is happening in our world today. There's been a lot of fear. And one of my mentors, someone I've learned a lot from, had a really powerful message to say. He said, you know what, spread confidence, not fear. And I'm confident with that said that throughout the course of this presentation tonight, you're going to become more confident and have a lot more faith in your ability to take control of your life in a number of different ways. So the word of the night is immunity, how to create immunity in your finances, how to create immunity in your ability to be able to respond in a way that when things are happening, like what we're seeing happening in our world with this virus, that you can still, from your home or from your mobile device, build a business. And on the other hand, you're going to hear Dr. Cheng Ruan, our Chief Medical Advisor, talk about immunity from the perspective of how hemp can play a role in putting your body in a place to be able to perform in such a way that you create a defense to a lot of the pathogens and different environmental toxins that are floating around our world today. And so as we get started, one of the things that we really focus on here at Prime My Body is focusing on our farms all the way to what it is we're able to bring people to their homes, to their families. So really from farm to table or from to family, focusing from the to the end product. Quality is something we absolutely keep in mind. From a business perspective, cannabis is one of those plants that it's kind of hot right now. If you've ever seen Zoolander, it's kind of a joke, but they're always like, that Hansel, he's so hot right now. And that's kind of how cannabis is. It's just hot. The funny thing is, as much as it's being talked about, you would actually think that the revenue is much bigger than it is. But in reality, it's still a small industry on its way, however, to becoming much bigger. As it sits today, it's about $1 billion industry in the United States. Those are the extracts and salves. But over the next 2 to 3 years, it's positioned and projected to grow to over $25 billion annually. John Taylor, our lead marketer, who's online with us tonight, has had an opportunity to be up front of growth industries in the entertainment industry. He was part of it in telecom in the late 90s, early 2000s. He's seen industries that went from highly regulated or not even legal to becoming deregulated or actually legal and in formation. Hemp is one of those things. JT, as you see what's happening economically inside of hemp, the partnership and what it is we've done by bringing cannabis and also the ability to build a cannabis-based business from your mobile device. What does that mean to you as we sort of take the first few minutes of this call and talk about cannabis from a business perspective as it relates to Prime My Body?
You know, Austin, it's first and foremost, it's great to be online with you. And I can't wait for you guys to hear Dr. Ron here in about 12 minutes. And yeah, I'm with Dr. Ron right now. So that's why you see us here. That's why our conversation is, I'm in the window. This is Dr. Cheng Ruan. You know, I'm excited, Austin. There's times in business, whether it's telecommunications or whether it's the entertainment industry or whether it's individuals that position themselves in digital content. You know, people went from the 8-track to all the way to downloading music. I mean, it's finding industries that are exploding at the right time. And when you look at hemp is perfectly positioned inside that window. Our products address many needs. Our products address myriad of things that happen for individuals and for people to help people live a healthier life on the inside, on the outside, to feel better, look better. But it's also, like you said, it's the immunity. It's a business where it's recession proof. And, you know, I pray for everybody today that's dealing with that feels paralyzed in some of this fear that's going on right now with this coronavirus, and people that are right now today more than ever living in fear. I would just say this: inside of times of opportunity, there's a time for you to position yourself in something while the rest of the world kind of looks around to figure out what's going on. And we've seen it over and over in economic terms. This is recession proof. Network marketing is a recession proof industry. So also when I think about the timing of our company, I think about how do we make the body healthier? How do we help people to create more finances so they don't have to worry about the downward spiral that might happen? I'm not saying it's going to, because I'm not a fear-based type of guy. But what are we preparing for, and what are we planning for with our company? What are we planning for and preparing for as individuals? And what are we trying to accomplish in living a life of abundance? Our products are amazing. The ingestibles, the products for our skincare line, you know, body therapy, et cetera. All these different products are amazing, but it's also about how do we make money inside this industry. Back to you.
So JT, I think whenever you're thinking about how you can create immunity, you know, we've learned a lot from being around Dr. Cheng Ruan. And again, you're going to hear from him shortly talking about the power of cannabis and how it can allow us to be empowered by taking control of our mental, physical, emotional well-being. But, you know, one of the things that influence is those aforementioned things that we're all striving to find balance in is the flexibility and freedom or flow that we're all looking for financially. It's 2020. We're more connected now than we ever have been, JT. People are looking for to create flexibility for themselves. And I'm in love with the idea that people can get involved in one of the fastest growing industries in the world and do it from this guy right here. To me, it's just a no-brainer. And the crazy thing is that our business isn't slowing down, even though United Airlines and unfortunately, many others are. And the reason for it is because the only place you have to be is wherever you're at in order to share this with someone. With that being said, the individual navigating, leading the Prime My Body ship, our CEO, Paul Rogers, you've known this gentleman your entire life, but you don't just know him. He's someone you're very close with. He has a lot of experience. He's built brands that have gone from zero to over $500 million a year, taking companies public on the NASDAQ all around the world. Can you talk a little bit about Paul and your relationship with him and why there's so much faith in his ability to run Prime My Body around the world?
You know, Austin, when you open up 40 international markets, when you bring out 20 plus products in your career, when you have a company that goes from 5 million a year to over 600, almost $700 million a year, when you have a stock that goes from 3 cents a share to over $35 a share on the NASDAQ, that's just a lot of kudos to a guy that's had a lot of success. Now here's the rough part of that. I didn't invest in that company. Oh God.
JT, I wasn't gonna ask that question, but since
me and a friend of mine who's an affiliate in our company, Carl Javia, I didn't invest, and CJ bought a Camaro. It was a beautiful Camaro, very nice car, and we extrapolated out what would have happened had he invested, and let's just say it was a big mistake, a huge mistake. I look for experience, Austin. That's all I want. I want experience in business. I want experience of people that can help us get to where we're going. And inside this world of hemp, man, it's a brand new industry. It's an industry that's just evolving. People go, well, it's saturated. I go, what are you talking about? It hadn't even been developed. The industry hasn't even been developed yet, and we're at the forefront. We're one of the biggest brands in front of the forefront, the people he's put around him, what we're doing in Japan, what we're doing in Mexico already today, what we're about to do in Africa, what we're about to do throughout different countries in Latin America. Paul just understands the global footprint of what we're doing here. But more importantly, let's take it back. We've got hundreds and hundreds of people right now today that are on a Zoom call. You don't have to worry about shaking anybody's hands. You don't have to worry about anybody breathing on you. You don't have to worry about anybody coughing on you right now. We're on the Zoom call. So Austin, for me, it's about building a business from technology, utilizing technology to help people expand their business and expand their brand, both here and around the world, using technology. Right before this call, you and I were on the phone with a group out of Japan. Later tonight, we'll be on the phone with another group out of Japan. Tomorrow morning, I'll be with a group out of Mexico. I do not have to leave the comfort of my home to do this unless I choose to.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, JT. And supporting Paul, our CEO, is an amazing team, one of which you heard from open up and hosting tonight's call, our Chief Marketing Officer, Brian Cummings. And then, of course, I'll introduce him briefly now, although we'll hand the baton over here in a second. Dr. Cheng Ruan, our Chief Medical Advisor. Dr. Ruan runs one of the largest, on any given day, the largest integrative medicine clinic in the United States, meaning he's someone that, for me, in so many ways represents the future of how people are treating wellness. And when people go in and see him, I'm one of his patients. It's a beautiful thing. He's not just looking to address the symptom. He wants to figure out what's created it and empower you with the knowledge and resources to take your health and well-being into your own hands. And so, Doc, I can look you in the eye. Thank you so much for what you're doing and how you've empowered me to do that. And I'm excited for everyone to hear from you tonight. Activating the body's master switch. Before we dive into our hemp extracts and how they're influencing the body, and really the theme again of tonight's call is immunity. JT and I have talked a little bit about the immunity that can be created whenever you can build a business from your phone or from your laptop or from your house. Doc's going to talk about the immunity that you can create by building a strong body by what you put in it, on it, around it.
And Austin, real quick, everybody's going to be able to go through the products. We've got a presentation. If you don't have, sorry guys. We've got a business model and a presentation that people can go through. We've got a compensation plan that people can go through as well. We've 50 cents out of every dollar in our company is paid back to the field. It's absolutely amazing for all of us on this phone call, whether it's the upfront money or the binary income or the residual or match, all that's here for an individual. So people, you're on this phone call, you can make some part-time income, full-time income, break the bank type of income. We make no guarantees of what you can make. But I want to say that real quick before we move into this, because this presentation tonight is about you having the ability to have your own home-based business, but we want to focus in on the science tonight. We want to focus a lot more of our attention where Austin's about to take you is into that arena, because for you on this phone call tonight, this is about you understanding how do we build this immune system? How do we live a healthier life? Why hemp? Why is hemp so important with that? And then the rest of the presentation, we'll have a testimonial at the end there, Extra, who's built a business working from home, creating a six-figure income working from home. Again, we make no claims or guarantees. I'm just letting you know she's working a home-based business and having massive success with that within our company. So also just want to say that real quick so we just get that out of the way so people can go back and review that information and get their questions answered. Come join us, be a part of this amazing community, make great money with us, be healthy using our products, all that good stuff. And you're a phenomenal leader that's doing that.
Awesome. JT, no, those are all great points. And, tonight's call is about, getting the information in your hands to make some, what I believe can be some pretty exciting choices. Number one, about what you put in your body, as I was mentioning, some amazing hemp extracts that can help to provide a state of balance and homeostasis so that your body can be in a place to respond to whatever it is it comes up against. But in addition to that, from a business perspective, you can position yourself to respond to whatever it is economically or outside your doors our world comes up against, just like in a moment right now. JT makes a great point. If any of you are coughing, it's not getting on anybody right now. And for the record, I do have some hand sanitizer by my computer. But Dr. Ron, I think everybody's waited long enough. They're really excited to hear from you. And the time is almost here. But before I hand it over, I want to introduce y'all to a woman I've gotten to know these last few years. Her name is Dara Exter. She has just an amazing story of falling in love with the cannabis plant and dealing with challenges within her health for a while and using hemp extract to find that balance many of us are looking for, to address a lot of the fears in her life, but also to build a global business from her home. And she's done that in a town that's not a big town, Taos, New Mexico, and now has a business with thousands of customers in it all around the world. So, Dara, before we bring Dr. Ruan on, I'd love to for you to come on for a couple of minutes and share with everyone, why you're excited to share with others what Prime My Body is, the value it's brought to you in your life from a business perspective, and also what you see in our products that inspire you on a daily basis to share this with other people. So with that said, Dara Exter, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Austin and JT, for asking me to be on. I can't believe I'm opening up before Dr. Ruan. This is kind of ridiculous. We all revere this man so much. So I'm really looking forward to you getting to hear from him. But for me, I have gone through my own journey of pretty intense health challenges that started when I was 25. I'm 40 now. So it's been a 15-year journey of having autoimmune issues and getting worse over time to a point when, almost 4 years ago, I had 2 foot surgeries because I was at a place where I really couldn't walk very well. And I had to let go of working. I had worked for many years as a home birth midwife and a massage therapist and an organic farmer. I love supplements. I love using the plants to empower our bodies to heal themselves and give them the energy they need and the cues that they need to be strong. And so when I found out about these products, I was really curious. I had been looking for phytocannabinoids. I started taking it and my life changed. I mean, radically. Chronic situations that I had going on a daily basis that were causing struggle and low mood and physical discomfort literally vanished overnight. And I became so passionate about sharing this with every single person I know, because you tell me, maybe you're different than me. Maybe you can think of one adult that isn't struggling in some way. But I feel like every single adult that I meet is struggling. They're struggling physically. Maybe they're struggling mentally, emotionally. People are having a hard time. We're faced with more toxicity. We're faced with more stress than we have ever before, even before this current situation that we're dealing with. And so, my life's work has always been to help others to feel empowered around their health and wellness, to uplift other people, to feel good in their bodies, to feel at peace in their bodies. And that's pretty challenging for a lot of people right now with the fear that's running. And so when we're feeling fear, our immune systems get suppressed, right? We go into that fight or flight, and we want these phytocannabinoids to bring our body into that place where we can rest, where we can digest, where we can feel peace. And so for me right now, I am taking the focus all day, every day. I love that it has CBG in it. I love that it's helping my body to be at its best. I'm calling it immune optimization, right? I have my vitamin C, I have astragalus. We can do all the things to help our bodies, but the absolute most important thing that we can be taking right now are these phytocannabinoids that we have in our hemp extracts that Dr. Ruan has so expertly formulated for us, for them to be the strongest and most potent out there. So thanks so much for being here. It's such a blessing to get to be part of this company and to be able to radically change my family's financial story as well, from one of extreme struggle to one of abundance and prosperity. And like they said, we were just on a Zoom with Japan. It's incredible that we can build a global business from our computers. It's amazing all the time, but especially right now, it's a true gift and a blessing. So thank you again.
Thanks so much, Dara, for being on. It's as we're sitting here doing it, it is a gift and a blessing. And sometimes, even with what we're dealing with in the world, it's really easy to take advantage of the miracles that are in front of us every single day. And so, one is that we get to connect in the way that we do. And so, without further ado, we've held you up long enough. You get to hear from the man of the hour, who's going to talk about, immunity, what that can mean to have a high-end quality cannabis product, and why he's so excited to be a part of Prime My Body. So Dr. Cheng Ruan, appreciate your friendship. So happy to be able to call you a business partner and to have you in my life, and grateful for you to be able to connect with everybody online tonight. The floor is yours.
Well, thank you so much, Austin. I appreciate that. It's great to call you my friend and my business partner as well. Thank you, Dara, for just really opening up for yourself and establish the vulnerability. And it's all we have in this world is really vulnerability to establish with each other, so that we can have a greater outcome. So, speaking of that, we currently live in a sort of a situation where there's a lot of stuff that's on the media, and there's a lot of scare that's really out there. But we really have to remember, as Dara said before, that stress is such an important factor when it comes to depleting the immune system. And so, there's a lot of stuff on TV. I get texts. I got over 50 texts a day about coronavirus and et cetera, et cetera. And we kind of live in a world where we're ready to really approach it. And I'm really glad that Focus, which I just took a couple of dropperfuls just now before coming on. We're really glad that we're ready to approach this in a way where it's meaningful. And this is what I mean. And so when the Focus was formulated, the desire was to actually start with the immune system and work itself away from there. And so every portion of the body is mediated by the immune system. Your brain, your gut, your heart, your skin, your blood vessels, everything is mediated by the immune system. And what I mean is that our body has a line of defense, and it's got really two raging armies. It's got the Army number 1, which is full of like the napalm strike and the air strikes and kind of bombing everything. Well, there's nothing tactical about it. It's just boom, and you're able to feel that boom through brain fog and fatigue and joint pains and all this stuff like that. And then immune system number 2 is kind of like the sniper rifles, where it's very tactical what they're really targeting. And both arms of the immune system cannot feel so very great when you have something that's attacking you, whether it's toxicities or an infection or anything like that. And so what happens is that during the time where you have a lot of things that are within you that's battling, like viruses and bacteria and stuff like that, your immune system comes on board and say, hey, we gotta do something. And so you have the air strikes, napalm strikes, that if you know anything about those, there's it's massive damage and there's some friendly fire to it. And then you have your sniper rifles which come in and they're very tactical about what they actually snipe away. But in the cloud in the midst of the napalm strike, the sniper rifles are also hitting friendly fire. So we call that autoimmunity, where your immune system starts kind of attacking itself. And that's exactly what happens during a lot of infectious processes and stuff like that. And so, one of the great things about cannabinoids and hemp is that there's a modulation of the immune system where a lot of that's kind of mitigated, so that your body can start adapting to these processes. So it's kind of a great time to pump yourself a little bit focused right here to start the day and to end the day tonight. And so the other portion is I don't want people to forget how much work actually went into this. There's a lot of work that went into this. And most people don't know that the way that this formula is even tested in the first place is to see not just how people feel, but we actually did it on EEG monitors and brain scans to see how fast things were actually working in the brain waves. And so the brain, believe it or not, is also controlled by your immune system. And that because sometimes when there's allergies outside, you just kind of feel kind of foggy. It's kind of toned down a little bit. So that's how you know. And then when you don't feel so good, maybe when you have the flu or when you have the virus, you feel kind of achy, you just don't want to do anything, your brain's kind of foggy. So your brain is really susceptible to immune dysregulations. And so the best thing to do is to actually look at the brain, because it is the most sensitive organ to figure out what's really going on in the body. And so I'll give you an example right now. So just all of you just, close your eyes and imagine that your cell phone rings in your pocket. And then you pick it up, and then you unlock the phone and you see that there's a text message. And the text message shows you that there's something awful that just happened to someone that's really, really close to you, and you're just in shock. So what does that feel like? Well, your gut's probably gonna hurt a little bit. You're probably gonna go a little pale in the face because your nitric oxide starts being shut down, your blood vessels starts to shut down to shunt the blood away from the gut and the digestive tract into this muscles, this fight or flight response. Well, that's part of the immune reaction as well. And so what happens during that response is that your brain has now signaled a physiological reaction that's happening to the body. And when you are basically receiving bad news all the time, and those people with like, post-traumatic stress, chronic anxiety, chronic depression, where your body physiologically is in that state all the time, it does a lot of harm and damage, and it makes you really susceptible to stuff like the viruses, like the coronavirus, for example, right? And so what's happening here is that if your body's susceptible to stuff like that, then even bad news, stress, the news out there can also make you susceptible to it as well. So if you hear about the news out there, there's specific regions in the country that are affected by the virus, and it happens in pockets. And most people think, oh, it's because the infection happens in those pockets. But actually, that's not necessarily true if you actually look at those patterns. The news spread faster than the actual infection does. So what happens is that the stress of the actual coronavirus, whatever is out there, makes people just susceptible to all sorts of infections based on the pure stress that's happening of the immune system or body. And so anything that you can do to mitigate stress is going to be really good. I'll give you a few other tidbits other than the hemp oil right here. If you eat healthy, make sure you move and exercise, make sure that you get plenty of sleep, and that you hug your loved ones, because physical touch actually improves the immune system. So touch the person that's next to you. If you're with somebody, give them a hug, and a hug actually increases your lymphocyte count, so your immune reactions count. And then also, don't forget that you got to really take care of yourself on a daily basis. So I think the hysteria is out there. It's out there for a reason, but it's not out there for a reason that's going to benefit us. Hysteria is there to do certain things, but we got our secret weapons, and we have the way that we kind of take care of each other as well. So, another reason why, looking at the Focus product right here, such a powerful thing, is that there's nothing really extra that's really in there that causes any issues. So you have terpenes. So you're like, well, what are terpenes? So terpenes are components within the plant, and they have their own mechanisms of actions, and they form such a nice combination with these cannabinoids. And these terpenes that are actually on the back of the bottle here, if anyone has a bottle, you can hold it up. This is limonene, beta-caryophyllene, linalool, and all this stuff right here. That terpene blend is there for a reason too, because it acts really well with the rest of the cannabinoids to form this whole plant. And the terpenes is also there for taste as well. So, instead of adding artificial flavors, instead of adding anything that can potentially damage and harm the immune system, this is a really clean thing that's right here. So I'm really proud of it, and I'm really proud of the success that we've had with it. And then I'm really proud with the way that the brain has been working well with it as well. And as many of you know, and maybe you don't, I was just in Miami just before the Super Bowl. We were scanning former NFL players' brains, and we were taking the baseline measurements using a quantitative EEG. That's an EEG cap that we have, looking at specific things about the brain speed, brain processing speed, visual reaction time, auditory reaction time, and a whole lot of different things. And we wanted to figure out if something like Focus is really able to, focus them, it's really able to help improve some of the processing speed. And if you guys haven't seen the new science page yet, please do go look at the new science page. I'm really proud of it. Spend a lot of time on it. So the data that we got was absolutely astounding. It was astounding, not just because of the data. It was astounding because it correlated with so many stories of these former players in the NFL, of what they were going through, what they were experiencing. And then shortly after the study, we were getting testimonials of the wives saying like, thank you, I have my husband back. And so that's really, really encouraging to me, because not only is the data really there to support the science, but really honestly just changing lives. And even something, that small of an event allowed me to really take a look deeper, focus into the power of, what we have in this bottle right here. And it's really allowed me to really appreciate the journey that we have come to get this far here at From My Body. And JT standing right over there looking at me, he's nodding his head. And we've had a fantastic time just being very altruistic and very caring and very obsessive about actually what goes into each bottle. And then what you guys don't see on the science page yet, what you will see very, very soon, is just some of the other data we have on quality of life. And so the quality of life data really comes from it really comes from, over 100 people being on this and trying to see, what their quality of life is in terms of pain and sleep and their perception of stress and anxiety and stuff like that, with some significant benefits as well. So that's coming up very soon. So please stay tuned. And as that science data comes out, it's going to be very, very powerful what we can see. So let me tell you something that I don't think I've told JT or anybody else here before. Is the emotion that you go through when you put people through studies. I think that there's a lot of people who are out there who are maybe a little sad, maybe a little depressed, a little anxious, and maybe just a little lost and not being able to find their way in life. And if you're one of those people, you're not alone. And a lot of those people we see at my clinic at Texas Center for Lifestyle Medicine. And as they come in, everyone's story is different from the day they come in and the day they leave when we go through these studies. And what does that mean? And I firmly believe that whatever walk of life you're in, if you feel like you're stuck, that feeling of stuck is a representation of the story that you've created for yourself. And so what happens is, as we take people on these journeys of lifestyle modifications and putting on focus and calm, as they go along, we monitor them month after month. What we basically get to do is to collect stories, how they feel month after month. And everyone's stories change. And these stories change because when people feel better, they feel like they are empowered to do a whole lot more. And all of a sudden, their original passion gets ignited. And then there's a meaning to life now. And that's what we see over about 14 months or so, is that everyone's story has changed. I think a lot of people in the company story has changed as well. And knowing the fact that you can actually change your story to change your life is a powerful thing. While, hemp, focus and calm may have contributed to a lot of that, but we really have to give ourselves credit for those of you who have these massive transformations, like Dara and some of the people that I know, and John Taylor right here to my right. So for those of you who have this massive change of stories, and I'm really truly proud of every single one of you for changing your stories to live within the power of your own means. And so it becomes an emotional thing when I think about it, when I meditate about it, is that yes, the science is nice, getting the data collections is nice. It's not to like pat myself on the back and say, oh my gosh, we have these bullet points and these graphs that are statistically significant of a p-value less than 0.05. But all that really means is that I have the opportunity, and I'm thankful to have the opportunity to really dive deep into human emotion. And I guarantee you, I learn more from the people that I see than anyone else, because it's being human that's being part of this company. It's being altruistic, being true to yourself, and being the one to be able to change a story, to be empowered to change a story that creates the culture of this company. And that's why I stick around. And so, I say all that to say that there's a lot more that's coming, a lot more that you don't know about yet, and I'm really excited to show it to you. And thankful for Paul Rogers, the CEO of this company, to allow me to participate in such a high level, and let me share my visions and where I think health is to be. And I'll share with you another little secret, is that I envision the health of this country to be dramatically shifted in the next 5 years. And if you guys follow me on social media, you'll kind of know what I mean. But we're building a new foundation of what health should be. And I'm taking Prime My Body with me. There goes Austin. I'm taking Austin with me. And I think that with just this little bottle right here, and I don't have the calm bottle, I would show it to you otherwise because I'm not sleeping yet. We're able to make some pretty dramatic changes by really tying everything together. For that, I'm truly grateful.
So, Doc, if I'm listening to this phone call, if I have a bottle of focus, if I'm looking at this going, this is something that I want to use, I want to help to create immunity in my body. I want to build a strong immune system. I want to create great balance.
Yes.
People oftentimes ask me, they hear CBD, they hear CBG, they hear terpenes. Can you talk a little bit about those ingredients, intention behind them, what purpose they serve? But then people also ask about protocols, times of day. How do you address and approach all that stuff?
Yeah, very good question. So very simply, let's talk about the intention behind the products first, and I'll talk the protocol second. So the intention behind the products is to keep you as clean and pure as possible. And so, CBD or cannabidiol is just one of the components of hemp. The star of the show is cannabidiols and cannabigerol, which is CBG, as well as humulene and linalool, which these are basically all funny little terms. All it means is that it makes up the components of what focus is, and the intention behind it is to engineer something that's able to put people in a better place. And not just to put people in a better place, but do it cleanly and do it with such a great intention, and getting the ingredients from the places that are very clean source, third-party tested for toxicities and everything like that. I think those are just really, really important things to put into the bottle. But here's the thing, people think that, oh, this is just a bottle of hemp oil. This is not a bottle of just hemp oil. This is a bottle of focus. What it means is that if many people may know that if you take hemp oil from different companies, different brands, different formulations, you feel a little different because the formulations are different. Well, the intention behind this is to really put people into focus. That's why the name went to focus. And what focus really means is that it's able to put people's brainwaves into a state where they're really able to zone in and have that sort of low alpha concentration. And low alpha means that you're at this brain healing waves that are relatively slow. It allows you to take in data a whole lot more, right? And the only reason I'm able to say that is because we see it on the EEG scans that we do for the former NFL players and all the people that we have in the clinical trials. And so what happens is that your brain processing speed, your brain processing power becomes significantly improved, statistically significant, improved based on the studies that we've seen. And so it basically is that it performs like something called a nootropic. I don't know if anybody's familiar with the name nootropic or nootropic, I think other people call it. So what that means, definition, is that it's a cognitive enhancer, meaning that it's some substance that's able to enhance brain function and wellness at some point. So originally this term was used for pharmaceutical drugs, and then now it reached into dietary supplements and also food and stuff like that. And by the way, I do consider focus a food, so it's part of my daily eating habits, if you will. So the intention of what it became was it was truly actually proven on the clinical data, which is something I'm really, really excited about. And so and then now, Alison, you asked about protocols, and so I hate the word protocol, so let's call it what it really is how should I take it, right? People are asking, how should I take it? And the reason I hate the word protocol is because the word protocol limits your mindset, okay? It makes you focus on things that you don't necessarily need to focus on. And what I recommend doing is just taking one dropperful, seeing how you feel, and understanding and knowing your body. And then titrating sort of based on that. When I say titrate, it means either go up or go down, really based on that. So for me, I did 3 dropperfuls right before this talk, so I'm super happy and super focused and sharp right now, and not after a long day of work. So that's what works for me. So everyone really has to listen to the body. Now, some people say, hey, doc, I take it, and sometimes I don't feel so good. One thing I do want people to notice is that if you're on medications, the immune system can be modulated so much that your system can become so much imbalanced that some of the medications you're taking may be too much for you. Okay, that's something to talk with your doctor on. Don't do anything yourself. Speak with your doctors and let them know, hey, I'm taking this thing, feel a little dizzy if you're taking blood pressure medicine, or feel a little off, you're taking whatever medicine, and let them know, hey, can I get retested for some of my stuff? Do I really still need this medicine? And that's a really, really common thing that we have here, is that we've had to stop some medicines because people can become imbalanced so much. And so, yeah, that's why I don't like to use the word protocol. Some people feel real happy with it and go right to sleep, like myself. Some people are so focused, they take it and they like work till like 5 a.m, like, ah. And so it's really different depending on how people respond to it. But like I said, I really recommend to kind of listen to your body, and don't listen to someone else's body, listen to your own body. So.
Doc, with that said, you mentioned sleeping. You know, it's a great segue to talk about Calm. You know,
Yeah.
both of these have a foundation of the 500 milligrams of the phytocannabinoid diols. You know, the famous acronym, of course, CBD. But the formulas are much different. Can you talk about this product you helped formulate and why you're so proud of it and why so many people are excited to use it and share it?
So let's, go into the Calm formula. This is a Calm formula, and you guys will will hear from me over and over again if you talk to me. The original intention of the Calm formula is to work with a population that I'm extremely passionate about. So the original intention of the Calm formula was actually to work with military veterans coming back from Afghanistan. Population of them. And I hire them. We have military that works for their company, and it's always been a passion of mine because they're the true heroes and what they're trying to do. And when they come back stateside, unfortunately, not a whole lot is really prepared to them or part for them when they come back stateside. And so we tend to see a lot of the groups and cohorts, and that's why they're so willing to participate in a lot of the studies that we have. And so the Calm formula is really to help with the people's sleeping aspect of being calm and being kind of like ready to shut down for the day. And for those people who really want to shut down their minds. So what generally happens is that you meet a lot of people, and if you're one of those people who can't shut your minds, you might want to think about using Calm. That intention is very different than focus. Like the focus was designed to be like this. It makes your body this laser focused, like highly processing, high functioning individual. Calm is like, okay, I'm ready for the evening. It's time to hit it. Time to hit the sack. And just like we talked about earlier, which I don't like to use the word protocols, is that people can respond to different ways. Some people 2 drops and they're out. Some people it takes 3 dropperfuls and they're out. It really depends on what how people feel. But the ingredients within the Calm is also has a sort of a different intention. And so as we know that hemp oil doesn't have our hemp oil has 0 THC, tetrahydrocannabinol, which is the component that makes people have a psychoactive effect, or the high effect, if you will. And so and that's not the intention of what we have. It's not the intention of the company. But there's some benefit behind the THC effect we know in a lot of literatures, but there's some detriments as well. And so the other reason we use the Calm is the way it's formulated is to have the benefits and the effects of the THC without the high. So the nice calming effect, the mellow effect, the adaptogen effect. An adaptogen just means it's something that you take for your body and hormones to adapt the way that you are. It's got doses of magnesium L3 and 8, valerian roots, ashwagandha, all these different things to really help keep that calm state of mind. But like I said, you have the calming effects of the THC without the high, or as JT calls it, you have the benefit without the sin, right? Yeah, the benefit without the sin. And so basically what happens is that this Calm formula, which once again is very different, very, very different than the Focus formula. They're both hemp oils, but they behave very differently. And in the very, very near future, in the science page, you'll see some data on the Calm that we're really excited to share as well. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that, hey, Calm is for sleep and Focus is to keep you awake. That works for me like that. It's not necessarily so for everyone. We have a lot of people, especially the military vets that I work with, a lot of people with sort of, anxiety, can't calm down issues. They take this during the morning time and they're like in the zone throughout the day. They feel good. So if you do take this in the daytime, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that that's the way that, your brain and body operates. So if you feel good with it, it keeps you nice and mellow, keeps you nice and focused and calm, then go ahead and do it, There's no rules here. And like I said, Austin, there's no protocols, because protocols, sucker you into this limiting belief. So, whatever works for you, works for you. And remember, this is a food. Calm is a food. It's part of what helps with the body, with not just the immune system, but helps to nourish the body's immune reactions to different things in life. And so I think, that's the most powerful thing to really understand.
I love that, Doc, and I love your perspective on protocols. These are products that you can take all the time. You shouldn't have to feel restricted to what someone else has found to work for them. Find what works for you and use it. Calm's something for me. I'm one of those people that can use it in the morning, but I can also use focus. It sort of depends on my circumstance or my season. Calm's something that helps with turbulence if you're flying on an airplane, or for some people.
Oh yeah, it does.
For some people who can't handle traffic. And I know a lot of those people. It helps for those folks as well. Both products are amazing. Doc, as we wrap up, the thing on everyone's mind is, number one, I'd like you to address, and you did a little bit, the mindset or operating system of that fear can cause. These are two products that are both amazing at helping to calm the body, create balance in the body. So addressing fear, but also if you're watching this and you're wondering, man, I want to build a strong body, a resilient body, one that can defend itself against things going on in the environment. Are these products that you feel comfortable saying, hey, these are things you can take that can move you closer in that direction of wellness?
Yes. Short answer, right?
All right.
And so, first of all, I just want to make sure people understand, like, the calm and the focus is not designed for a specific medical purpose. It does not kill coronavirus. I don't care what people say. It does not kill coronavirus. It doesn't kill the flu. It's like, damn it. And so what it really does, and the intention behind it, is that if you think about, what calm and focus is and what it does for you, if you have the benefit of having improved sleep, if you have the benefit of improving the cognition, improving that performance throughout the day, what happens is that your brain develops this level of equilibrium, where, by the way, your brain also controls all hormone levels in the body, right? Through a process called neuropeptide signal modification. I use big words, so I sound smart, but what it really means is that your brain has these signals that stimulate your glandular organs, the organ that balance your hormones. And your hormones are the things that talks to your body. And these same signals also talks to your bone marrow to start producing your immune cells, basically your sniper rifles, right? And your line of defense. And so what's happening is that if you have anything that helps you with this sleep benefits, anything that helps you with the benefits of just staying that focus and being happy, that happiness is part of building your immune system. And so, I kind of find it funny that people kind of ask, oh, should I be taking this for that? It's like saying, well, should I be, eating blueberries, or should I be eating kale to be part of my, healthy lifestyle? Like, yeah, those are foods. And so is this. It's a food. It's something that you consume. And I really want people to view it that way, because it's what it really is, right? And so, with all this hysteria about the viruses and all this stuff over here, I find it a little humorous, but at the same time kind of sad that so many people are kind of affected by it. You hear these things from the World Health Organization. You hear these things from the Department of Health. My kid's school decided not to be open for the next couple of weeks, which is kind of crazy. The NCAA canceling, NBA canceling. All these things are actually a response, not to the virus, but it's a response to the hysteria. Please recognize that, people. It's a response to the hysteria. And that the hemp can be contributing to the part of you establishing that balance. So you're not part of the hype, you're not part of the hysteria, you're part of the balancing effect. And I know JT's about to come on, cut me off, but right before I shut off, Austin, I think this is an important part, is that Austin, you and I both really respect the elderly. We talk about that a lot, right?
Mhm.
Elderly people have so much inflammation, so much life until you lived. But we also know that viruses like the coronavirus, the flu, they affect the elderly more than anyone else, right? Well, the elderly are the people who basically have the immune system over time can start declining a bit. And so their worries are more, their acid production in their gut is less. So they stop absorbing these fat soluble vitamins like vitamins A, D, E, and K. And we know from studies that vitamin A, for example, that line the epithelial, that line the airways of the lungs are associated with helping the immune system, right? And so part of the lack of the absorption is because of the hysteria. When your mind is in fight or flight, it does not want to absorb food. It's like trying to drink a healthy smoothie while running away from a tiger. Your body is not equipped to absorb that. It's equipped to fight the freaking tiger or run away. What happens is that food becomes a toxin to you, so you develop intolerances to that food. So if you think about that, if someone's watching on their phone, they're looking at WHO, looking at these announcements about coronavirus, and they're just eating their food, right? And that fight or flight in their brain does not allow the food to permeate to the body. It actually depletes the immune system, even if they're eating healthy food. And if you have something that is able to calm your brain, make you focus, and make you calm, that should be very logistically part of what you should be doing. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. That's powerful way of explaining it, Doc. And I know we could stay on here. No one's gotten off the Zoom. Everyone I know wants to hear more from you. So you know what? Expect a phone call from JT and I asking you to do one of these here within the next week for sure, and keep this conversation going. And we really appreciate you being on in your time.
No, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Doc. So, spread confidence, not fear. And as JT and I said at the beginning of the phone call, as I hand it over back to you, JT, to wrap us up, this Zoom was about immunity. And our brand, we're really proud that it is something that can help people attach themselves to something as powerful as having immunity in your life. Building a business successfully from your phone by sharing something, as Doc so eloquently and intelligently laid out, can bring real value and balance to our mental, emotional, and physical well-being. So with that being said, our lead marketer, John Taylor, I'm going to hand it to you to wrap it up. Thanks so much for being on, man.
First and foremost, guys, we will have this up as soon as possible. ASAP, we'll get this up because we want you to have this information. We want you to be able to share this. And Doc, we know you're busy. We know your clinics are full right now. We don't take for granted one bit all the phone calls you're getting, all the patients you're seeing, the mass hysteria. I get it. And we're thankful for that. So first and foremost, great gratitude, awesome gratitude for you being on this call, taking time for our family. Man, I'm so happy about that. Number two, you know what? My kids' school just got extended out till March 31st, where they can even go back. So I run a business from home. So now I get to be with my kids more. If we want to travel, if we want to go somewhere, you know what? I'm mobile. I can go anywhere. I don't have to be somewhere. You can't go to a meeting in Houston with over 250 people in it. So guess what? Don't have to worry about going to a meeting. I can do this call. I can do 100 calls a day just from this phone. And I don't have to worry about getting around people. So if you let fear drive you, I'm not saying don't be aware. I'm not saying don't be smart about what you're doing. I'm wash your hands 10 times a day. Make sure that you're cognizant and you're aware of what's going on, but also understand. It's like Tom Hanks said. Tom Hanks, him and his wife are in Australia, and they got the coronavirus, and they said, "Hey, we rest. We're getting better. We're feeling better." If we take the approach of getting our bodies healthier, and if we take the approach of, take this time for what it can bring you versus what it takes away from you. What can this bring you? For me, that's what I want to leave you on today. What can this bring you? What is the season you're in right now that can bring you something, that can leave you something? For me, it's about bringing me the ability to be thankful that 3.5 years ago, we started something, and today you can build this business. It's about those of you that are wanting to have a home-based business. And in case the economy dips, and it dips even more, guess what? You can talk to people. It's easier to talk to people when they're looking for opportunities than when the economy's so sky high. So I just want you to know this. I just want you to know this and think about this today, is that you have an opportunity more than ever to do something amazing for yourself, for your family, for the people that you love and care about. And it's not about living in fear. It's about looking at the glass half full versus half empty. What is this bringing to you versus what is this taking away from you? And if it's taking away something for you, then you got to pivot and shift. And if you're not pivoting and shifting in life, then you're not trying to figure out how to work in areas where you have the ability to grasp and grab economic opportunities and do some big things. Again, I'm not about fear mongering. I'm not about that. I'm about being pragmatic in the conversation. You're in an industry that's exploding. You're in an industry where you have the ability to work from home. You're in an industry where you can impact people's lives. Come join us. Come be a part of this amazing hemp revolution, changing people one person at a time. And guess what? With people like Dr. Cheng Ruan, with people like Paul Rogers, with people like Dara Extra, you heard on the phone tonight, people like Austin Tyson, leaders all over the country, man, we are here to serve you at the highest level, to create a community that wants significance for the people that they love and care about. Guys, have a super night. God bless. Look forward to seeing you soon. Saturday morning, real quick, shout out to Tom McCarthy. Saturday morning, 11 o'clock Central Standard Time. Tom McCarthy is going to be doing about 45 minutes to an hour training. Guys, our people are still on cloud nine from his training in Cancun. He's bringing it to your living room Saturday morning. Guys, have a super day. God bless. Take care.